Picture this. You're walking to your car, it's a normal Tuesday, and then, out of nowhere, a dog the size of a small bear locks its eyes on you. Not barking, not growling, just staring. That silence, that's the most terrifying part. Right now, there are dogs living in the shadows of their owners' homes, hidden from the government, smuggled across borders, kept off leashes and off records because their very existence is illegal in dozens of countries around the world. We're talking fines that'll drain your bank account, prison sentences, and in some cases, the dog gets destroyed on the spot, no questions asked. Today, we're counting down the 15 most banned dog breeds on the planet. Some of these were built for war, some were engineered for the fighting pit, and a few of them, you've probably passed one on the street and had no idea. Stay till the very end, because number 1 has been banned in over 40 countries, sparked international debates, and might be living right next door to you right now. Let's go. Number 15, the Fila Brasileiro, the dog that's hardwired to distrust you. Imagine owning a dog so naturally suspicious of strangers that even the judges at dog shows aren't allowed to touch it. That's not a training issue, that's genetics. The Fila Brasileiro, also called the Brazilian Mastiff, was bred in South America to do 2 things: track jaguars through the jungle and chase down escaped slaves. That history left a permanent mark on its DNA. Brazilian dog breeders actually celebrate what they call olleriza, a deep, instinctive hatred of strangers. The more suspicious the dog, the more prized it is. Let that sink in. These dogs weigh up to 110 pounds. Their bite? Strong enough to crack bone. Imagine the pressure of a full-grown man standing on a single square inch of your hand. That's what a Fila's bite feels like. The UK, Norway, Denmark, and Israel have all said, no thank you. Get caught owning one in those countries, and authorities can legally seize your dog and hand you criminal charges. The Fila doesn't need a bad owner to be dangerous. It just needs to meet a stranger. Number 14, the Neapolitan Mastiff, Rome's war machine, still walking among us. 2,000 years ago, these dogs fought alongside Roman soldiers. They were sent into gladiator arenas. They wore armor. Their skin was so loose and thick that enemy bites literally couldn't reach the muscle underneath. The Neapolitan Mastiff hasn't changed much since then, tipping the scales at up to 155 pounds with a massive wrinkled face that looks more like a cartoon than a real animal. Don't let that fool you. These dogs are banned in Singapore and restricted in multiple countries because of one dangerous combination: enormous size plus unpredictable aggression towards strangers. They can be calm and gentle with family one moment, then switch without warning. And when a 155-pound dog with bone-crushing jaws switches, there's very little you can do about it. In countries where they're restricted, owners must carry insurance, use muzzles in public, and pass licensing requirements, because one wrong moment with a Neapolitan Mastiff isn't a bite, it's a catastrophe. Number 13, the boerboel, the dog that fought lions and won. South African farmers didn't need firearms to protect their land. They had boerboels. These dogs were bred to go toe-to-toe with lions, leopards, and baboons on the African savanna. Think about the kind of animal you'd need to create to do that job. Now imagine it living in a suburban backyard. Boerboels can weigh up to 200 pounds. Their bite force? Roughly 800 pounds per square inch. To put that in perspective, a human bite is about 120. A boerboel's bite is nearly 7 times stronger. But here's what makes them truly dangerous. They don't wait for commands. They assess a threat and they act independently, decisively, and without hesitation. Banned in Denmark, France, Qatar, and Malaysia. In those countries, owning one isn't just frowned upon, it's a criminal offense. The boerboel doesn't see itself as a pet. It sees itself as a guardian. And it takes that job very, very seriously. Number 12, the dogo argentino. Built to hunt pumas, built to win. White as snow, muscular as a linebacker, and designed from the ground up to chase down pumas and wild boar in the mountains of Argentina. The dogo argentino doesn't just chase prey, it catches it, holds it, and refuses to let go. That's not a metaphor. That's literally how they were trained to hunt. Bite and hold, using their massive, wide head to lock on and shake. And because of that technique, they They've been used extensively in illegal dog fighting rings across South America and beyond. Banned in the UK, Australia, New Zealand, Denmark, Norway, and Iceland. Bite force around 500 pounds per square inch. That's like having a car engine's worth of pressure applied to whatever it's biting. Even in legal countries, dogo owners are strongly advised to socialize them from puppies, because without that, their prey drive can redirect toward anything that moves fast, including children. Number 11. The presa canario. The dog that made international headlines for the worst reason. January 26, 2001, San Francisco, California. A woman named Diane Whipple was coming home from grocery shopping. She stepped into the hallway of her apartment building. 2 presa canarios tore her apart. She didn't survive. The case shocked the world. Her neighbors, the dog's owners, were convicted of murder, and the presa canario became infamous overnight. Originally from the Canary Islands, these dogs were bred for dogfighting and cattle control, a brutal combination of gameness and physical power. They can exceed 130 pounds with bite forces over 540 pounds per square inch. Banned in Australia and New Zealand, heavily restricted across the US. The presa canario has also been involved in attacks on its own owners, not just strangers. That territorial instinct has no favorites. Once it activates, there's no negotiating with it. Number 10. The Tosa Inu, Japan's silent killer. Most dangerous dogs bark, they growl, they give you warning signs. You can read them, you can prepare. The Tosa Inu gives you nothing. Japan's legendary fighting dog was specifically bred to attack in complete silence, because in traditional Japanese dogfighting culture, a dog that barked during a fight was considered dishonorable, so they bred the noise out of it entirely. What you're left with is an animal that can weigh up to 200 pounds with a bite force over 550 pounds per square inch and absolutely zero warning before it acts. Banned in the UK, Australia, Denmark, Norway, Malta, and more than 20 other countries. Even in Japan, ownership requires registration, insurance, and strict liability compliance. The Tosa isn't aggressive in an obvious way. It's aggressive in the scariest way possible, quietly, deliberately, and without announcement. We're only halfway through, and it gets a whole lot more intense from here. The next dog on this list, it was used as a literal weapon of war. Keep watching. Number 9. The Caucasian Shepherd. The living bear. Picture a dog the size of an actual bear, not bear-like, a bear. The Caucasian Shepherd can weigh up to 220 pounds, some individuals even larger, with thick, dense fur that works like natural body armor. Their bite force exceeds 700 pounds per square inch. That's strong enough to snap a human femur, the strongest bone in the body, in a single bite. For centuries, these dogs guarded flocks in the Caucasus Mountains of Russia and Georgia. Their enemies weren't other dogs, they were wolves, and the Caucasian Shepherd won consistently. What makes them so dangerous in a modern context is exactly what made them valuable in a mountain context. They make their own decisions. They don't need you to tell them something is a threat. They decide, and then they act. Banned in Denmark. Heavily restricted across Europe. In countries where they're permitted, ownership often requires special licensing and secure containment systems, because a standard fence is not going to stop one of these animals. This is not a pet. This is a force of nature in fur. Number 8. The wolf dog hybrid. Half dog, half wild, entirely unpredictable. Here's a thought experiment. What happens when you take thousands of years of domestication and throw half of it away? You get a wolf-dog hybrid. These animals, crosses between domestic dogs and actual wolves, are banned in Norway, heavily restricted in the UK and Australia, and illegal in many US states. And the reason is simple. You can't predict them. A dog has been shaped by human beings over thousands of generations to coexist with us, to read us, to want to please us. A wolf has present. A wolf enforces rank through aggression. It views small children as prey-sized. It treats strangers as threats. Combine those instincts with the size and strength of a large domestic breed, some hybrids exceed 100 pounds, and you have an animal that even experienced handlers approach with extreme caution. These aren't misunderstood pets. In the eyes of the law in many countries, they aren't pets at all. They're wild animals, and if they're seized, they're treated accordingly. Number 7, the Akita. Japan's national treasure, with a dark side. In Japan, they give Akita figurines to hospital patients as a symbol of recovery, to new parents as a wish for good health. These dogs are revered, and in Singapore, they're banned. The Akita is loyal beyond measure, but only to its family. To strangers, other animals, and anyone it perceives as a threat, the Akita can shift from perfectly calm to devastatingly dangerous with almost no warning. Originally bred to hunt bears and wild boar in feudal Japan, Akitas possess physical capability and fighting instinct that hasn't faded with domestication. They stand up to 28 inches tall, weigh over 100 pounds, and bite with over 400 pounds per square inch of force. What makes them particularly tricky is that they don't show obvious aggression signs before they act. No prolonged growling, no extended warning. They're not dramatic about it. Fatal attacks, particularly involving children, have been documented in multiple countries. The duality of the Akita is what makes them so complex, extraordinarily loving within their family circle and genuinely dangerous outside of it. Number 6, the American Bulldog. Underestimated, underestimated, underestimated. When most people hear bulldog, they picture a wrinkly, slow-moving dog that can barely breathe. The American Bulldog is not that dog. This animal was bred to work on farms, chasing down feral pigs, restraining livestock, guarding property against predators. It's athletic, agile, and relentlessly tenacious, weighing up to 130 pounds with a bite force of around 330 pounds per square inch, and crucially, a grip that doesn't release easily. That last part is what causes serious injury. Banned in Denmark and Singapore, in many jurisdictions, it's automatically classified under pitbull-type legislation, making it illegal by association. Serious attack incidents, including fatalities, have been documented, particularly involving unsupervised children. American Bulldogs need experienced, consistent handling. In the wrong environment, with the wrong owner, that farm-bred tenacity becomes something entirely different. And once it locks on, letting go isn't in its nature. We're about to hit the top 5. These are the breeds that have been banned in the most countries on Earth. And number 3 might genuinely surprise you. You're not going to want to look away. Number 5, the Presa Mallorquin, Cai de Bo. Spain's bull baiter, still built for battle. Bull baiting. Just the phrase tells you everything you need to know. For centuries on the Spanish islands of Majorca, these stocky, muscular dogs were trained to attack tethered bulls, to grip the bull's nose, hold on, and not let go no matter how violently the animal thrashed. Think about the kind of pain tolerance you need to develop over generations to do that job. The Presa Mallorquin, also called the Cai de Bo, or bulldog in Catalan, is banned in Australia and restricted throughout Europe. They weigh up to 84 pounds, compact and explosive, with jaw strength and grip endurance that reflect their brutal history. What makes them particularly dangerous in a modern context is exactly that. The bull is gone, but the drive to grip and hold absolutely isn't. Banned countries treat ownership as a serious criminal matter. In restricted areas, registered, sterilized, microchipped, muzzled in public, and insured. Because when a dog was built to hold a bull, let go isn't really a concept it understands. Number 4, the Cane Corso, Italy's war dog, hiding in plain sight. Here's what's unsettling about the Cane Corso. It looks almost normal. Big, sure. Muscular, absolutely. But compared to some of the nightmare creatures earlier on this list, it doesn't immediately scream danger. That's exactly what makes it so dangerous. The Cane Corso is a direct descendant of the Roman war dogs that marched into battle alongside legions across Europe and North Africa. They were bred to charge enemy lines, take down horses, and hold ground. That heritage is still very much alive in their DNA. They can weigh up to 150 pounds, with a bite force exceeding 700 pounds per square inch, stronger than a lion's. Banned in several countries, including Germany, Canada, and parts of the United States, and heavily restricted throughout Europe. What sets the cane corso apart is its combination of raw intelligence and raw power. These dogs assess situations, they read people, and when they decide something is a threat, they don't hesitate, and they don't half commit. Several fatal attacks involving cane corsos have been documented in recent years, including incidents where the dog turned on its own family. In banned regions, ownership is a criminal offense. In restricted areas, muzzles, insurance, and secure containment aren't suggestions, they're the law. It looks like a pet. It was built for war. Never forget the difference. Number 3, the Rottweiler, the breed that surprises everyone on this list. This one always gets a reaction because Rottweilers aren't some exotic, hard-to-find breed. They're everywhere. Family pets, police dogs, search and rescue companions. Millions of Rottweilers live gentle, loving lives in homes around the world. And yet, they're banned in Ecuador, Bermuda, and parts of Portugal, restricted in dozens more countries. Why? The statistics. Year after year, Rottweilers rank among the top 2 or 3 breeds for fatal dog attacks worldwide. Their combination of size, up to 135 pounds, strength, territorial instinct, and bite force, around 330 pounds per square inch, creates significant risk when things go wrong. And here's what makes Rottweiler attacks particularly devastating when they do happen. Rottweilers are confident. They don't back down. They don't hesitate. When a Rottweiler decides to attack, it attacks with total commitment. The controversy around this one is real. Most Rottweiler owners would tell you their dog is a gentle giant. The governments that banned them would point to the body count and say, statistically, the risk is too high. Both groups have a point, and that tension, that's exactly why this debate never ends. Number 2, the American Staffordshire Terrier and Staffordshire Bull Terrier. 30 countries, 900 cities, and counting. These two breeds share a bloodline, a reputation, and a legal status in more places than almost any other dog on Earth. The American Staffordshire Terrier and the Staffordshire Bull Terrier, both part of the pitbull family, are banned in over 30 countries and restricted in hundreds of American cities alone. They descend directly from fighting breeds. For generations, the traits that were selected and strengthened were aggression during combat, refusal to quit, and a pain tolerance so extreme that serious injuries don't slow them down. Their attack style causes catastrophic damage. It's called bite and shake. Lock the jaws, then shake the head violently from side to side. This tears muscle and tissue rather than just puncturing it. The wounds aren't like a normal dog bite. They're closer to a shark attack in terms of physical damage. In some areas, existing dogs were grandfathered in, allowed to stay, but no new ones permitted. The breed is slowly being phased out of those regions entirely. Penalties for illegal ownership include fines up to $50,000, immediate confiscation, and permanent criminal records. These are dogs that, in the wrong hands, become something genuinely terrifying, and the world's governments have made their position clear. Okay, here we are. Everything we've covered, the dogs banned in 10, 15, 20 countries, it's all been building to this. Number 1 is banned in over 40 countries. More than 900 cities in the United States alone have legislation targeting this breed. It has sparked international laws, changed how governments think about dog ownership, and divided animal lovers like no other breed in history. Some people will tell you it's a victim of its own reputation. Others will point to decades of statistics and say the numbers speak for themselves. Either way, you need to know about this dog. Number 1, the American Pit Bull Terrier, the most banned dog in the world. Let's be real with each other for a second. You probably already knew this was coming. The pit bull, the most argued about, most legislated, most controversial dog breed that has ever existed. But here's what most people don't know, the full picture. The American Pit Bull Terrier is banned in over 40 countries: the UK, France, Denmark, Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, Israel, Turkey, Poland, Portugal, Ecuador. The list goes on and on. In the United States, over 900 cities have breed-specific legislation targeting pit bulls. That's not a rumor. That's documented law. Now, why? These dogs were bred deliberately and methodically for bull baiting and then dog fighting. For generations, the traits that were reinforced were aggression toward other animals, an absolute refusal to stop during a fight, and a pain tolerance that allows them to keep going even while seriously injured. Their bite and shake technique, the same one we talked about with the staffies, is genetically ingrained. It's not something they're taught. It's something they're built for. In terms of pure numbers, pit bulls account for a disproportionately high percentage of fatal dog attacks each year relative to their share of the overall dog population. Children are disproportionately represented among the victims, and a significant number of attacks have involved the family's own dog, not a stray, not an unfamiliar animal, the one that slept on their couch. The UK banned them in 1991, following a series of horrific attacks, including deaths of children. Existing pit bulls were grandfathered in under strict rules, registered, sterilized, microchipped, insured, and muzzled in public at all times. When those dogs died, no replacements. The breed is effectively gone from the UK. Denmark banned them in 2010 after a pit bull killed a 2-year-old girl. The dog was a family pet. It had never shown aggression before. It attacked without warning. France, Australia, and dozens of other countries followed similar paths after similar tragedies. Get caught owning one illegally in a banned country? Immediate confiscation and destruction of the dog, fines that can reach $50,000 or more, criminal charges, potential imprisonment, a permanent criminal record. And here's where it gets genuinely complicated. Millions of pit bulls around the world live as loving, gentle, loyal family dogs. Their owners will tell you, passionately, from experience, that it's all about the owner, not the breed. The governments that ban them will show you the statistics and say, when pit bulls do attack, the outcomes are more frequently fatal than with virtually any other breed, and that risk is too high to take. This is a debate that has no clean ending, but there's a reason, a real, documented, painful reason why this breed sits at number 1 on this list. So there it is, 15 breeds, hundreds of bans, and a question that people all over the world are still arguing about right now. Is it fair to ban an entire breed because of what some individuals have done? Or does the data justify protecting the public, even if it means punishing dogs that have never hurt anyone? I want to know what you think. Drop it in the comments. Seriously, don't hold back. Should breed-specific legislation exist, or should it all come down to owner responsibility? I read every single comment. And here's what I want to ask you directly. What should we cover next? The most dangerous dog attacks ever recorded? The most banned animals in the world, not just dogs? Or maybe the breeds that were once banned but got their reputation back? Tell me below. Your vote literally shapes the next video. If you made it this far, thank you. You're exactly the kind of person this channel is made for. Hit subscribe if you haven't, because we go deep on the topics most channels won't touch. See you on the next one.